Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm happy to see people tuning in already. I hope the sound and everything is okay. If someone can give me a thumbs up, that's good. I hope also that everyone got the message that there's a little bit of a change for the stream today. We're going to have Tord, Ida, and Patrick with me. I'm getting you some feedback here. 1 second. I'm having a 1 second. Bear with me. Getting an echo. Okay. I think that's it. So great that people are tuning in. This is really about the vision paper today. We were supposed to be fewer people. I mean, a few more people, but it's only me. 1 second. I keep getting. I'm going to go to a break and I'll be back for a second. All right, that should do it. So basically, I'm here to talk to you about the vision paper today, and we've had some great feedback already. The paper came out, I would say, a week ago or so, 10 days ago, and some extraordinary feedback has come in the Discord forum that we're going to dive into and go through page by page. And reading it last night, I mean, I read it in passing along the way, and then I read it again last night, and so whoever wrote that feedback has really understood what we need to do to grow this community. And there's a lot of alpha in there. I plan to adopt as much of it as possible of what has come in, and I also like to have other people's opinions on this. But the whole purpose of the vision paper is truly that the journey of Paso Verse is going to be available for everyone to be part of. It is now a community effort. We made it into a DAO where everyone can find their place and find their story as we launch this. So a lot of people don't know what El Paso Verse is. I think I'd like to spend 2 minutes on what El Paso Verse is because, and I'll tell you a short story. It's a 2-minute story, not long, well, might be 3. Where this started for me and what that led us to the vision paper that we have today. I was sitting in Madrid at a taco place called Tiki Tacos, and I was sitting with a wonderful girl, and we were talking about the Western that we were building. We were shooting a Western in Almeria. We'd just come back from filming, so we were pretty high on the feeling of being involved in the Old West. And while we were there, we came across this one place that was for sale. It was called Western Leona. It was a ghost town, and it was a good location. But during the conversation of having these tacos, basically, I don't know which one of us said it. We'd obviously seen Westworld. Westworld was a TV show that a lot of people know about. It's about a fantasy of people being able to travel to the Old West and go there for real. And that became kind of immediately, what if we did this? What if we bought this Western town and connected it with another Western town that was close to it in Almeria, and people could enter and live in the Old West? And we were kind of seeing this as a missed opportunity of the theme parks that were down there. And we kind of spun with that, and I decided to go back down to Almeria, rent a horse, check into Western Leona, and it was for sale for $2.5 million. And I later did go there with my lawyers and everyone. We took a hard look at buying this. But before I wanted to do that, I ended up, and by the way, I'm going to have questions at the end. This is a short brief today for those that are just tuning in. I see we have a lot of people coming on now. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a brief on the vision paper and tell you what El Paso Verse is, what's happening next, some big alpha coming, and then we're going to have another live AMA with Patrick Tobler and Tord Ida. We couldn't align it today because one of us is in Japan, the other one, I'm here in Europe, and Tord was traveling back to the US, so it was a very small window to get this done. And I also think a lot of our audience is on American time. I know we have people checking in from Australia and Europe, so it's probably better for those that are there today, but We certainly have a lot of people out west in the U.S. that needs to be able to participate. So I'll come back with a time where we really go deeper into the vision paper. But I'm telling you how I came about this idea of El Paso Verse and what it is. So I was looking to buy these two Western towns in Almeria because I thought it was a good opportunity to create basically Westworld for real. And I rented a horse, rode from one to the other, and when this thing goes in rerun, I'll put some links to some of those horse rides and experiences I had on that journey, and you'll see that it was pretty remarkable. It was a special experience, but however, there were some power lines, there were some roads that I could see, and more importantly, there was very little water. The river was almost completely dry. So for me, it wasn't quite what it needed to be for the Old West. And I also saw some restrictions and limitations in Spain not allowing us to build much, and we would essentially only own one Western town on one end and one on the other, and everything in between was kind of open prairie that had different landowners and town hall and whoever. So it made me look at the US, and I thought there's got to be land somewhere that is more true to the time, more true to 1880, which is what we want to emulate and build. And that's when I came across this land in Texas, right up against the border of Mexico, that was just extraordinary. It was the largest land collection for sale in the US at the time. It was, I think it was 200, no, 300,000 acres. I mean, essentially, I wanted to carve out and buy 45,000 acres. We have this in a different video talking about this land. Since that time, this land has been acquired. It's been purchased by the Texas Land Office. I didn't mention that could happen in that video. The fact that it has happened is a big deal for us because it means that we don't have to buy this land. We can essentially rent it from the Texas Land Office, and they are usually very willing to support anyone wanting to do business activities in this area. And there's a real good chance that we will be able to get a very favorable land lease on this land, which makes it very quick and easy for us to start El Paso Verse, to launch this Westworld scale scope of a vision there. The only challenge we have with the Texas Land Office is that they probably will ask us to do a 4-year lease, which is not going to do it for us. So we need to convince them to do a 99-year lease or 50-year lease that's renewable, which is a criteria for us with the scope and the size of what we're building. Because in reality, the scope of this vision is requiring 45,000 acres at a minimum. We're going to build at least 2 or 3 major Western towns with train tracks going between them. And this is going to be the greatest adventure on the planet. That's the way I see it, the greatest experience on the planet. There's going to be nothing else like it. So this just takes entertainment and storytelling to a whole new level, to a whole new dimension. I believe this kind of immersion and first-person experience is what people need to feel and experience. And it's basically the antithesis of where the world is going in terms of AI and the way entertainment is going. This is like first-person, feet on the ground, being able to, feel the real elements of things. So I can't imagine anything more extraordinary in this, and that's what this whole community effort is about. It's about getting to the end game of building the El Paso Verse, where it's a real breathing, living thing. And about a week ago, we released a vision paper that is the roadmap for how we get there. And it's also the roadmap for how we get there without being dependent on corporate forces. And this is important. A project like this is for the community. It's by the community. That's going to give us the freedom and power to do something extraordinary here. The moment this turns into a commercialized effort that's all about, it could be the end of the project. And I'm really trying to avoid that. This would appeal to investors. There's a lot of ways you can skin that. You can do it as a real estate project, and there's a lot of ways. But I really would like to avoid that because I think we have the power to do it, and I don't think we need it. And particularly with this land strategy that's now available to lease the land, means we can get in there very easily. And if we get our pasos to work, that can fuel and drive the whole economy. So that's the vision behind the vision paper. I mentioned along the way that we are the antithesis of AI and modern technologies. That is true on the end game experience, but it's not true on the digital frontier. So made a decision here to upload my creative visions for this project into an AI agent. This was at the recommendation of Patrick Tobler, who is on the cutting edge of AI. And this should really help the project market and gain traction on the digital frontier. We hold on, I'm gonna make sure I know people are putting in comments here. That's great. Keep sending your comments. There's a little bit of a delay, so just whatever you want to open up or talk about, send it in. I'll get to it by the end of this broadcast. It's not going to be a long broadcast today. It'll be about 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to go into Discord afterwards for overtime, and we're going to drill down the El Paso Verse Saloon. That's the place that we discuss the details, and the community is already part of shaping the vision paper before we now release the Paso. And the Paso token is right around the corner. It's going to be supported by an AI agent named Harry West. And Harry West is basically a creative embodiment of my vision for this project. I've agreed to upload all my creative ideas for this project into Harry. And he's going to take over the digital frontier as I kind of go deeper into the El Paso Verse objectives, which is physical on the land. So we are gonna rely on cutting edge AI technology here to turn the corner and get the word out and market this. But the AI robots will never have a chance of stepping into the El Paso Verse in the end, because it's going to be a place completely devoid of technology, modern technology. I mean, we have to decide on the lore and the rules of everything that lives in this place. That's not this vision paper. We should do a separate document that is kind of the lore and community guidelines, I would say. And there we need to define, is this before electricity came in? Are we relying only on oil lamps and fire lamps? Are we going to have a telephone? I think yes, we're going to have a telephone. We're going to have a telegraph. We're going to have a steam train. So the year seems to be 1880. This El Paso Verse will live in a perpetual 1880. That's really the whole objective, is we have a place that is pure and true to 1880, a place you can, again, I'm going back to what the vision here is, and then I'll get more specific on the vision paper, but it's, you arrive at this place, you lose all your clothing, you have to choose clothing from a costume warehouse where you can get down to the fabrics of everything that you would have and choose in 1880. You choose how you travel, you choose all your gear and belongings, and then once you enter, you're not going to be able to bring your cell phone. The rest of the world is totally off limits, and the only way you can communicate with the outside world is through telegraph once you're on the land, or you can send a letter, which will arrive with Western Union. And if you want people to contact you, they can send a letter in a double envelope. The hub will sort the mail and repackage it, open it and repackage the second envelope and send it to you. So this is where we need to get to. It sounds big. Yes, the scope of this is the cost of building something like this is probably around $400 million, probably a little bit more. Just the steam train alone is easily $30-40 million, just if you kind of go by the length of the track. But the scope of this has to be such that if you want to travel from one town to the next, it'll take you something like a day if you go by horseback, or if you walk it, or stagecoach. The steam train will obviously be a lot faster. So yeah, that's the scope we're talking about. That's what we're going to get to. It's about a 5-year plan. It can be pretty quick given the fact that the Texas Land Office has acquired the key target land that we want, which means we can rent it, which means we don't need huge amounts of money to buy the land. The RWA transaction is quite simple, and the Pasos could fuel the whole thing. So this vision paper basically aims to lay out how this is going to grow over a period of 5 to 10 years. We do mention in here that this is such a scalable vision that, for instance, the community may have to vote on how, if more Pasos are ever going to be available. That will be a community decision as this thing grows. But I've tried and we've tried to lay out a very balanced paper here that is for the community to step into and disseminate and now amplify to get us there. And to that effect, some great feedback has come in, and we're discussing this on Discord, and we're gonna dive deep into how to refine the vision paper for El Paso Verse before we launch the Paso. The Paso is we're looking at the 2nd or 3rd week of March is when that goes live, along with the AI agent Harry West that will start marketing and driving the El Paso Verse. So I think that's kind of in summary. Question needs, this needs to be answered 100 times over. What is El Paso Verse? And I don't think many people have really understood that yet. Even the people that follow this channel are probably not quite sure about what we're doing. They might think it's a metaverse kind of thing, or we're doing collectibles with NFTs. This is Westworld in real life, without the robots, without the evil corporation. This is the greatest adventure on the planet, and that's what we're building. And we now have a roadmap to do it. We've taken steps to get to this point. We probably need to stream every day, get people involved, because every time I have a conversation with someone in the real world, they just lose their minds over this. This is just an incredible, and anyone that, you can go back and kind of look at El Paso Verse in real, search for Westworld in real life, and there's some big articles on that, if that ever can happen. Kind of look that up and see what people are thinking about that. There's also a lot of other demographics that I'm certain will love this, and that's it. And I haven't focused much on the marketing of this. I focused on the foundation and how we're going to build it, how we're going to grow it, and that's the approach I've taken from day one. And I realize now that we have to focus on marketing because we got to get the word out. We're just on the ground floor. We're a very small group, but once this is communicated quickly and easily, word will 100% spread, because there's going to be nothing else like this. So, yeah, demographics. For instance, there was a TV show, I think it was on CBS in the US about 10, 20 years ago, where they offered Americans a chance to come and live in the Old West, to live on the frontier, 100% true to the time. And there was something like 10 to 20,000 families or people that applied for this, that wanted to leave their life behind and go and live in the Old West. And 2 or 3 or 4 families got chosen. They were living on the frontier. They were living off the land, very harsh, very difficult, which will be possible in El Paso Verse as well. But the difference here is that we're going to have the steam train, and that changes everything, because you don't need to live off of the land. You can have products, livestock, materials, food, ice, lobster come in on the train, and you can stay in luxurious hotels and choose from any level. It doesn't have to be luxurious. You can go for a budget version. You can go for the equivalent of a bunkhouse, and you can stay as long as you want. And so, all I want is to go there and live there and experience this. And that's my motivation, is to see this place and feel it. I've had a chance to feel it and experience it along the way in my travels and journeys. And that's what I'm trying to relate here, is what this is going to be like. So we need to get the word out to people that are into nature, into adventure, we need storytellers to help us market this. And that's where the films come in. The films are really just a marketing tool, as I see it, for the El Paso Verse stories. So a little bit about the movies. The movies will be, ideally, we make something like 30 or 40 movies over the next 5 years. They'll be shorter in length. They'll be about 30 minutes in length, which means we can have a lot of premieres, a lot of storylines. And we will use actors that are new, that are fresh, that are up and coming. They will go on contract with us to continue their storylines inside the El Paso Verse. That's where our immersive experiences and storylines come in. So you can basically, as you're traveling through on the steam train, it might be a robbery. There might be having dinner, and the guy next to you is being shot to pieces, and there's blood squibs and everything, and he gets dragged out in the pool of blood, and music comes back on and dinner resumes, and no one ever breaks character, and you don't know what the hell just happened. That's going to happen in in level 1. So level 1 is going to be a mecca of entertainment and bustling with life, and that's going to be the most touristy part. So yeah, I mean, a couple of things and responses to the white paper. There was, I mean, a community member basically said, so by the way, we're getting some comments here. Feel free to bring your commentary and questions as we go through this. I'm rambling a little bit because I'm trying to just give a sense of where we are, and I'm also excited about this. So this, what we're building is the greatest experience on the planet, the biggest adventure on the planet. There's nothing else like it. This takes storytelling and you know, immersive experiences to a whole new level. This is a whole new dimension. We're building a real place like Westworld. So someone said by reading the white paper that they realized that the El Paso Verse is going to predate cinema by 27 years. So there's going to be no cinema in this place. So, you know, so where is entertainment coming from? Are you going to be able to, which is ironic because we're using cinema and movies to market the place. So we're going to have a lot of premieres, a lot of excitement, you know, around the world with our premieres to market El Paso Verse. But once you live in there and you go in there, there'll be no movies showing within there. However, the characters and actors that you saw on screen are going to be getting year-long contracts to stay on perpetual character arcs within the El Paso Verse. So they'll be traveling through and having their own storyline that they go through. So once you go there, there's a big chance you're going to see the stories and places that you've seen in the movies. So this is really stepping into the, you know, the world. So this contributor in the this, I think this was from who did this? Was this from Studio 29A in our community? Commented this on Twitter, and he basically said, "It's a shame we don't have a theater, but certainly I mean, a movie theater in there, but we certainly should do live theater, Wild West shows, and vaudeville." Vaudeville, I had to look up. I didn't know what vaudeville was. I guess it was the equivalent of cinema back in the days. So I looked that up. And this is really interesting. The community member here suggested that we have a hidden portal in the mountains that allows you to go through and come and attend movie theaters, premieres on the outside. It's very close to what we were talking about. We're going to have the hub. The hub is where modern day civilization ends and El Paso Verse begins. This is where we have our check-in. This is where people arrive with their cars. This is where you have your detox, where you can, you know, to your fullest heart's content, you can, you know, do all your social media postings and everything. So that will all be there. This is where you get, you know, outfitted. This is where you choose how to travel. This is your, you know, this is your check-in center, and the whole operation for El Paso Verse will be run from here. So we're going to do movie premieres there, and which means in essence that residents of El Paso Verse that choose to live there full time, they're going to have a chance to get on the screen steam train and go to the hub and attend premieres. So we will have that possibility. Outside of that, you got to rely on live music, live theater. Maybe you have to learn to play an instrument or find a partner that does. So yeah. So sorry about that. I see we have a really good turnout. I'm happy to see so many people in the community here. That's a big deal. I haven't been on here for a while. I told you last time that we have set up live stream studios in Spain and in the Mojave Desert, which we did and we have completed. The only reason I'm not there is I was traveling and I was in Oregon and or something related to El Paso Verse, and I now am in Europe for knee surgery. So I tore my ACL and MCL, and I got to go through rehabilitation. So I'm not going to be able to be at the live stream studios that we've set up, but hopefully we can get that going with other community members in the meantime. But I will be talking with the community now as we hone in and fix or adjust the white paper. It's a vision paper to the point that it really reflects what we need to do. I think it's pretty close. I think with these comments that have come in, I have them here, and we'll go through them on the Discord. We're going to have a very strong paper that helps us drive and market and push this pretty quickly to where the end goal is. And with that in play, the Pasos will circulate. That's our token. Paso token is going to drive the whole economy. That's going to be the one that you will need to live and experience. I haven't talked much about the collectability side. In putting this vision paper together, we thought about including the NFTs and collections that we're going to have. We have the Genesis book collection. It was received very well last year. We sold out every book basically, and there was only 700 units. And the people that have those books are in a really good position to get some rewards that will stack as we go forward. And that's what these refinements of the vision paper is going to do. Is going to help stack and reward early contributors and the early collectors here. So they're going to be in a unique position as we go along and as we open up the motion prints, for instance, which is going to, the motion prints is tied to the movies. That's the collectibles from the movies. That's the ultimate collectible. There's only going to be one film frame for, from each film roll that ever exists, and from the director's cut, essentially. So yeah, so that's coming, and that's coming next. We got to make a lot of movies. The reason that we don't have a lot of the NFTs and motion prints in the vision paper is because it's important that we are compliant, this is where our legal partner, Tord Ida, will chime in. And we have chosen to separate this, and there's going to be third-party companies that will develop with the Paso in the Paso Verse system. And today there are two companies doing that. It's companies I'm both involved in. It's Masters in Motion in Spain, who have produced NFTs and collectibles so far, and they're committed and dedicated to keep doing that. And then we also have El Paso Verse Inc., a Florida company that will be doing the motion prints. So we invite, and that's the way this vision paper is written, that we invite the community to do the same. So we want to see other developers come in and use this system and build on it and build more collectibles on the movie side, because we're a small team, we can only do so many movies. And I think what I'm excited about now is that this is opening up to a real community effort, and that's what's going to drive it. So let's see. I have a really good turnout here. This is great to see. I'm thankful that you're here. I need your help to take this to the next level. And I think we're going to go over to Discord very soon. Let's see if there's anything here that I'd like to touch on now, but we do want to do a proof of attendance protocol that the people that are here early gets rewarded as well, and because the vision paper is a very important and early event for us. Several people have suggested that we should do the vision paper as an NFT, which we're open to. We could do that. We could probably do that with book.io. And outside of that, we may just do a POAP, a proof of protocol separately. But yeah, we're open to doing a vision paper as an NFT. That could be cool. We probably would use AI for that this time. We haven't done a special shoot for it like we did for the books. That was practical special shoot was something that was kind of reserved for the books. It does fit to use AI because we have an AI agent that's now taken over the online community drive, and his name is Harry West, and he was the one who compiled the vision paper. And so that's an exciting step. Some people have warned me not to do that, and I've received some warnings that this could be dangerous to let an AI agent take over. I think it's okay. I think it's going to be fine. I think we need it. I know I need it because it's not organic for me to be on Twitter all the time, even though I love the conversations that we have. I prefer to do them in person. So yeah, just to recap, we have launched a vision paper that is available everywhere. I encourage you to read it and talk to us about it. We're on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, and we'll be more places. But Discord is where a lot of the conversations are shaping up about how to make changes in the community. This vision paper, what is it? It's a vision for turning El Paso Verse into Westworld in real life, without the robots, without the evil corporation. It's something that's going to be owned by the community or run by the community. And it's a big vision. It's going to take a lot of people and resources, but I am convinced that we can get there pretty quickly. And a lot of doors have opened up for us now. Oh yes, I will mention this. The paper is not written that we have to buy this one land in Texas. It's not written that way. It's written such that we have to obtain a piece of land about 45,000 acres, which is pretty big. That's big enough that you can build 3 Western towns in a great distance from each one, with a train track running through it. That land doesn't have to be in Texas. It could be in Oregon. It could be in Costa Rica, like I did with Jurassic Park. They ended up being in Costa Rica, and that's also what this vision paper wants to do. It wants the community to come back and suggest, why don't we do this land? Why don't we do this one? And then we just have to make sure that it qualifies and that it meets the needs of El Paso, where it basically has to be untouched land that looks like it could be 1880 with no eyesores, no interference, and it has to be available for us to do a sustainable build that lasts for the next 100 years or several hundred years. That's and ultimately El Paso Verse could become multiple locations. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, my dedication is to build the first one here and live that and live through it and see level 1, level 2, and level 3 be built. I like the first location because it's bordering Mexico. So you have this extraordinary adventure of crossing over, which I've tried and I've done. And I'm going to give you a link on what I did with that. And but I think there's multiple locations that could work for us. That's the big one, that we have a land big enough for this, and it needs to be acquired either through the means of an RWA acquisition, which could be done as a real estate transaction. Pretty straightforward. It's basically land that is undeveloped and unusable for most other developers because it's so remote. We have to kind of be at the cusp of civilization, and I don't think it's suitable for many other developers. So that puts us at a great advantage in picking and choosing and finding land. But instead of having to buy it, I think we can lease it, as long as we get a long-term lease of 50 plus 50 years, or 99-year lease. It's just as good as a purchase, which saves us from having a big outlay in having to purchase land. I mean, the one that was sold in Texas essentially sold for $180 million. That was the whole land, but if we would have partitioned off a piece of it, we would have looked at probably 90. No, I mean, I forget, but I mean, it's 45,000 acres times $500 an acre, something like that. Was it 90? We have to look in the paper. I might be wrong. I'm saying 45,000. I might be 90,000 acres. Yeah, I think the qualification that is in the vision paper now is 90,000 acres. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, it has a qualification for that. As soon as we have found that land, and as soon as we obtain a lease agreement that qualifies for our needs, it'll go to the DAO. The DAO will then release the Pasos for development of this land and kickstart it and build a steam train and key infrastructure and all that. And it'll also give support to settlers that are coming in. And so that's how the vision paper lays out the steps to do that. I've tried to do it in a pretty organized fashion that everyone can kind of see it. We need to get that across easily and quickly. We'll get good at just communicating this again and again, what El Paso Verse is, because I don't think anyone can imagine what we're doing here. Then there's also 2 more qualifications in the vision paper for smaller thresholds, which allows us to do a smaller variant of our vision. That's something like buying the Western town in Spain or something like it on a smaller scale, or maybe 2 towns. And then the 3rd level is to do a hotel, the Verse Hotel, which is at the cusp of this kind of nature and kind of serves the land and the experience that we want. That's a community special premier place. So all of those are defined as projects in the vision paper, and now the new website is going to have a land portal where different projects will be presented. I'll be presenting in each category that I have worked on and found in the last year or so. And then I hope the community follows suit and shows us land that we haven't thought about that could be an alternative to this. So if you're watching this and you know about land that we should consider, be ready to present it pretty soon. So yeah, I've gone over the time I was going to do here, but in summary, I am super thankful that people are tuning in, listening to this. That's exciting. It means we're on the right track. I'll be available here all the way to make sure that the community owns this effort. This is for the community to own and drive. And the early contributors and the early adopters needs to be rewarded the whole way. They need to be in a prime position. They need to have first access. They need to have first dibs to stake their claim, to do what they want to do in this, to have their dreams, whether it is to experience or it's to own unique and one-on-one collectibles. That's going to be all the way throughout for the next 5 years. And that should have, those collectibles will have special utility in the end game experience. And yeah, I think we need to get into that on Discord. I'll touch on it now. I'll jump over there. I want to thank everyone for being here. Yeah, we need to share the Discord link. The Discord link is at the moment, I believe, on the X bio, the El Paso Verse. El Paso Verse, yeah, at the, here, let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see, 1 second. 1 second. See if I can type a message. No, let's see, maybe. Okay, this is the Discord link. Hopefully people see it. If you can't grab it or see it, then go to the X profile for El Paso Verse and follow the link. It says enter the saloon in the top bio, and do become a member. Join us there, and we will get much more detailed about all this. But I will announce the time with Patrick Tobler and Tord Eide, and we can get also more into the vision paper on that one. It's important that we do this quickly because the yes, they says they got it. That's the link to Discord that I just had on the screen. So thanks to everyone for being here. We will be back here in a few days with more members of the team, and then we'll do a live AMA as originally planned. And I thank you for tuning in, and great to see you. I'm going to do an outro here, I think. And then, yeah, see you later.
The goods can be transported by sea from Mexico.
It has the power to kind of be a time machine, and the scope of it is just beyond anything we've seen in entertainment offerings. But before we get to the land and the core of it, I'd like us to go to
years in Mexico, or wherever he disappeared to. He returned not as a desperado, but as a gunman.
The day has come to reveal what El Paso Verse truly is about. And now that we lay out all the details here with the map and the land and the underlying value here, you'll get a sense of why we're so passionate about this vision.
In the mid-1870s, Morgan Kane disappeared, apparently without any trace. But after 2 years in Mexico,